We've talked a lot in this series about the importance of saying no and how to help others hear your no and how your no protects your yes. But how do you actually deliver a no to someone in a way that's strong and loving? Hi, everybody. I'm Greg from Heart Tools, where we make it simple to build great relationships. And there are 3 potential steps in delivering a strong and powerful no to the people in your life. And I say potential because only the first step is necessary in delivering a no. And that's simply to say no, right? Just no, I can't babysit for you. No, I can't work this weekend. No, I can't lend you that money. No, I can't help with that problem. No is a complete sentence, right? It doesn't need anything else for it to be understood. No is a complete sentence. Sometimes we have this mistaken idea that in order for me to say no to you, I have to explain my no to you in a way, first of all, that you understand, and then secondly, that you accept and agree with. But that's really just like saying, I don't get a no. I don't have power. You give me a no when you want to give me a no. Your no belongs to you because your yes belongs to you and because you get to be a powerful person in each relationship that you're in. Now, even though no is a complete sentence and you don't owe anyone an explanation for your no, there are a lot of times where you'll want to say more than no. It will feel unloving in some relationships just to give a no and nothing else. And so the way you keep your no strong, but also make it loving is move to the second step, which is after you deliver a clear no, then you talk about your yes. So you may say something like, hey, we can't babysit for you this Friday night. My spouse and I, we are really working on our commitment and our romance and trying to develop more playfulness. And we've just made a commitment that we're doing date nights every Friday night, right? And so you deliver the no, and then you talk about your yes. Then sometimes there's a third step that you'll want to go to, because we've talked about other times people will go through a grief process whenever they hear our no. And sometimes we're aware that's going to be a particularly big grief process. So the third step is when you want to and when you think it's appropriate and necessary, after you talk about your yes, the third step is to mention that person's loss and then point back to your yes. So you might say something like, hey, Mom, we're not going to be able to come home for Christmas this year. Thanks for the invitation. But this has just been such a crazy season for us. We recognize that we really need to spend some time alone with our kids and just cocoon and rest and play together. And that's really critical for us right now to kind of restore some things to our family, right? So there's your no and your yes. And then you move on to the grief and point back to the yes. So you may say something like, man, I know that's a particularly big loss for you, Mom, because I know how important it is for you to have all your kids and grandkids around in the holiday. And I don't take that lightly. Then point back to your yes. And we wouldn't do that if this was absolutely critical for our family moving forward. So you talk about their grief and then you point back to your yes. So do those 3 steps. The first step is the only one that's required, and sometimes that's all that you give. In relationships where you're close, you'll usually probably want to move on to the second and point back to your yes. And then every once in a while, move to the third step and reference the person's grief and loss while pointing back to your yes at the end. And then just let them do their grieving, right? While you tolerate the emotions that brings up in you, and that's good for both of you. So practice those 3 steps of delivering a no that is strong, but it's also loving, and see how that helps you. Simple steps, practice, practice, practice. That's what Heart Tools is all about.